Hi, I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council here at the Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium with WisBusiness.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still talks about the net neutrality debate, and Paula Sorrell, who heads venture capital efforts in the state of Michigan, talks about her state's efforts to spur early stage investment. And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report. Rising, Epic Systems, the healthcare software giant, already Dane County's largest private employer, has set its sight on what would be the largest contract in its history. Epic partners with IBM to bid on the overhaul of electronic medical records for the U.S. Defense Department, a 10-year, $11 billion deal that would cover 9 million members, including 6 million veterans. Epic officials say its current customer base, the company handles half the patient records in the country, best prepares it to handle the agency's demands. And falling, frac sand mining. The State Department of Justice has reached another settlement against a frac sand organization, the 6th in a year. Altogether, the companies have paid more than $550,000 in the deals to settle a variety of violations. In the latest case, Alpine Sand LLC reached a deal to pay $80,000 in forfeitures, court costs, and fees for violating terms of a stormwater discharge permit in Trempealeau County. The biggest forfeiture was the $200,000 Preferred Sands of Wisconsin paid in December for stormwater violations, also in Trempealeau County. The industry has exploded in Wisconsin of late, bringing the possibility of a jobs boom, but it's also been accompanied by tensions between the operations and local residents. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
By any standard, the internet ranks as one of the leading innovations of our time. It has revolutionized everything from commerce to medicine to entertainment, all within the confines of a generation. Better yet, it has done so largely without government regulation. So why would President Obama think now is the time to turn back the clock to Depression-era rules written when all telephones were black, hardwired, and hanging on a wall? Obama said this week he believes high-speed internet service providers should be regulated through the strongest possible rules to protect net neutrality, thus endorsing a proposal to empower the Federal Communications Commission to prevent internet service providers from charging some content providers for better access. The FCC is debating whether internet service providers can choose to block or prioritize delivering traffic to certain websites. That policy is under consideration because a federal appeals court decision struck down rules that barred companies from doing so. While the FCC appeared on course for a hybrid rule to charge broadband hogs while protecting small users, Obama has proposed to take it to a new, or more accurately old, regulatory level. He wants to reclassify ISPs as common carriers under Title II of the 1934 Telecommunications Act, thus treating the service as a public utility. This is the same overly broad approach to regulation that spawned the old Ma Bell monopoly and stifled telecom innovation for generations, until the internet basically changed everything by coloring outside the lines. There are internet corporate elephants on both sides of the debate, of course, so entrepreneurs are rightfully worried about not getting trampled in the tall grass. If the internet had not been free and relatively open over the past 20 years, entrepreneurs may well have been deterred from creating a wide array of services and products. That kind of innovation has transformed the economy and created millions of jobs. The internet is one of the uniquely American innovations of the last quarter century. It has functioned pretty well so far with light touch regulation and self-policing functions. If you want less of something, tax it or regulate it. That principle precedes the birth of the internet and is hardly out of style in our digital age.
Thanks, Tom. We'll be right back with the Vice President of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
We're back with Paula Sorrell, Vice President of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and a speaker at the Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium. Welcome, Paula.
Thanks, Liz.
Tell us more about your work with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, which looks very much like our own Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation.
Sure. So I'm Vice President of Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Venture Capital at the MEDC. And you're right, there are a lot of similarities. So we fund specifically on the tech side early stage companies that have high potential for growth. So we do that through a number of programs at the universities, through our tech incubators, through pre-seed funding programs, through service providers and nonprofit service providers that help support the ecosystem. And then we also have some fund-to-funds in the state as well that support venture capital.
Michigan has invested about $215 million in venture and angel funds over about 10 years. What has that meant to the Michigan economy?
Well, beyond that, there's also the annual support that's gone into funding the ecosystem to help support companies. So what it's allowed us to do is de-risk a number of companies over the years. We've gone from where we used to track companies all the way, we were in the 50 to 80 company range when we were tracking early stage tech companies way back more than 10 years ago. What that has allowed us to do over the last 10 years is, of course, increase our funds under management. So venture funds under management have gone from about $200 million to $4 billion.
And thinking about Wisconsin, Michigan, and the rest of the upper Midwest, where are there opportunities to collaborate on early stage growth?
That's a great question. I think there are a number of ways. First of all, our universities already do collaborative research work, and I think there's the potential to expand that. There's also a need to be able to connect our investors as well, and we see a lot of in fact, I flew on the plane over here with some of our investors that are checking out Wisconsin opportunities, which is terrific. We can also learn from each other, learn from programs, things that worked, things that we can improve, things that we can maybe expand on a more regional level.
Thanks, Paula, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, The Show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent Foot Executive Search. See you next time.